The Old Man and the Hidden Key. What would you do if a tiny golden key could unlock your greatest dream? But what if that same key could also destroy your life? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. In a small village in England lived a young man named Jack. He was honest, kind, and hardworking. Every morning, he opened his little carpenter shop before sunrise. He repaired old furniture, built wooden tables, and helped anyone who needed him. Jack was not rich. His clothes were old. His house was small, but everyone trusted him because he never lied and never cheated anyone. One cold winter morning, an old traveler stopped outside Jack's shop. His coat was covered with snow. His walking stick looked older than he was. He smiled kindly. "Good morning," the old man said. Jack smiled back. "Please come inside. It is warm here." The old man entered slowly. Jack offered him a chair and a cup of hot tea. "You look tired," Jack said. "I have traveled for many days," the old man replied. After drinking the tea, the old man placed a small wooden box on the table. "I need your help." Jack opened the box carefully. Inside was an old golden key. It was unlike any key he had ever seen. Beautiful patterns covered its surface. A tiny blue stone shone at its center. Jack looked surprised. "This key is beautiful." The old man nodded. "It is also dangerous." Jack looked confused. "Dangerous?" "Yes." The old man leaned closer. "This key opens only one door in the entire world." Jack asked, "What is behind that door?" The old man became silent. Then he answered, "Something that people have searched for over hundreds of years." Jack smiled. "A treasure?" The old man slowly shook his head. "No, something much greater." Jack became even more curious. "What is it?" The old man looked into Jack's eyes. "I cannot tell you. You must discover it yourself." Jack laughed softly. "Why are you showing it to me?" The old man replied, "Because I have searched for the right person for many years." Jack looked surprised. "The right person?" The old man nodded. "This key only works for someone whose heart is honest." Jack smiled politely. "I am only a carpenter." The old man smiled back. "That is exactly why I chose you." Jack remained silent. The old man stood up. "I must leave now." He placed the golden key into Jack's hand. "I will return after 8 days. If you still have the key, our journey will begin." Before Jack could ask another question, the old man quietly disappeared into the falling snow. Jack stood outside his shop. The golden key felt strangely warm. He looked at the blue stone. For a brief moment, it glowed, very softly. Jack whispered, "What secret are you hiding?" Far away, hidden behind a large oak tree, a man wearing a black coat had watched everything. He smiled. "So, I finally found the golden key." His name was Victor, and he had spent 25 years searching for it. He quietly whispered, "This time, the key will be mine." Chapter 2. Victor begins the hunt. The next morning, Jack woke up before sunrise. The golden key was still lying on his wooden table. As soon as he touched it, the blue stone glowed for a second. Then it became quiet again. Jack smiled. "Maybe it is only my imagination." He placed the key safely inside a small leather bag and opened his carpenter shop. Customers came as usual. An old woman needed a broken chair repaired. A young father wanted a new table for his family. Jack worked carefully. He charged everyone a fair price. By evening, every customer left happy. Across the street, a man wearing a black coat watched him all day. It was Victor, he whispered. So the old man chose him. One of Victor's helpers walked toward him. Should we steal the key tonight? Victor slowly shook his head. No. I want to know where the key leads. We follow him. We do not touch him. Yet. That night, Jack sat beside the fireplace. He looked at the golden key again. Suddenly, the blue stone began shining brighter than before. A tiny light appeared in the air. It slowly moved toward the door. Jack stood up. What is happening? The light floated outside. Jack quietly followed it. The light led him through the silent village. It crossed a small bridge. Then it entered the forest. Jack hesitated. It is already dark. But I have to know. He continued walking. After nearly an hour, the light stopped beside a huge oak tree. There was nothing there. Only old roots and fallen leaves. The light suddenly disappeared. Jack looked around. This cannot be the end. He gently cleaned the leaves from the ground. Then he noticed something strange. There was a small keyhole carved into a large stone beneath the tree. His heart began beating faster. The key. He slowly took out the golden key. As soon as it came near the stone, the key began glowing. Jack carefully placed it into the keyhole. Click! A deep rumbling sound echoed through the forest. The giant stone slowly moved aside. Behind it appeared a narrow staircase leading underground. Cool air rushed upward. Jack held his breath. What is this place? Before he could take another step, a familiar voice came from behind. I knew you would find it. Jack turned around. The old traveler was standing there with a gentle smile. You came, Jack said. The old man nodded. The key has accepted you. Jack looked toward the hidden staircase. What is down there? The old man answered quietly. The first gate. The journey has only begun, Jack asked. What is behind the first gate? The old man smiled. Not treasure. A test. Jack looked confused. A test? Yes. The golden key never opens its greatest secret for someone who only wants riches. It first tests the heart. Meanwhile, hidden behind thick bushes, Victor watched everything. His eyes widened. So, the entrance really exists. He smiled coldly. Let Jack pass the tests. When he reaches the final door, I will take the key. The old man looked at Jack. Once you enter, there is no turning back. Jack took a deep breath. He looked at the glowing key in his hand. Then he nodded. I am ready. The old man smiled proudly. Together, they stepped down the ancient stone staircase. Behind them, the stone doors slowly closed. Victor quietly walked toward it. He touched the cold rock. Then he smiled. You may have the key, but I always find another way. Deep inside the mountain, someone or something had just awakened, and Jack had no idea that the first test would decide whether he was worthy to continue. Chapter 3. The First Gate of Truth. The heavy stone door closed behind Jack and the old man. The sound echoed through the dark tunnel. For a moment, everything became silent. Only the soft blue light from the golden key guided their way. Jack looked around. The walls were made of smooth gray stone. Ancient symbols were carved into them. Some looked like stars. Others looked like trees and birds. Jack asked quietly, "Who built this place?" The old man smiled. "No one knows. It has existed for hundreds of years. They say only people with honest hearts can reach the end." Jack held the key tightly. They continued walking. After several minutes, they entered a large underground hall. In the center stood a huge stone gate. It was almost 3 times taller than Jack. Above the gate were golden words. "The first gate of truth." Jack slowly read them. "What does that mean?" The old man answered, "This gate cannot be opened by strength. It only opens for truth." Jack looked around. There was no handle, no lock, no place to use the golden key. Suddenly, a bright white light filled the room. A deep voice echoed from every direction. "Answer honestly." Jack looked surprised. "Who is speaking?" The old man remained calm. "Do not fear. The gate is asking." The mysterious voice spoke again. "What is the greatest thing you have ever wanted?" Jack became silent. Many answers came into his mind. Money, success, a bigger house, a better life. But after thinking carefully, he spoke from his heart. "I want a peaceful life. I want enough to help my family and others. I do not want more than I truly need." The hall became quiet. Then the voice spoke again. "Why?" Jack answered. "Because happiness is not measured by money. My parents taught me that kindness is worth more than riches." The ground shook gently. A soft, golden light appeared around the gate. The old man smiled. "You answered honestly, but the test was not finished." The voice asked another question. "Have you ever made a mistake?" Jack lowered his head. "Yes, I have. When I was younger, I sometimes judged people too quickly. I also blamed others for problems that I caused. But I admitted my mistakes. I learned from them. I try to become a better person every day." The room became completely silent. Then, the giant stone gate slowly began opening. Jack smiled with relief. "I passed." The old man nodded proudly. Truth always opens the first door. As they stepped through the gate, they entered another chamber. This room was different. Its walls were covered with shining crystals. In the center stood a beautiful silver fountain. The water sparkled like diamonds. Beside the fountain lay a small wooden box. Jack walked closer. Inside the box were hundreds of bright gold coins. He looked surprised. "So, there really is treasure." The old man quietly said, "Touch nothing." Jack immediately stepped back. "Why?" Before the old man could answer, Victor entered the chamber from a hidden tunnel. He laughed loudly. "So this is where you've been?" Jack looked shocked. "You followed us?" Victor smiled. "I told you. I always find another way." Without listening to anyone, Victor rushed toward the wooden box. He grabbed a handful of gold coins. The moment he touched them, the entire room began shaking. The beautiful fountain suddenly turned black. The golden coins changed into ordinary stones. A loud voice thundered through the chamber. "Greed has failed the test." Victor tried to throw the stones away, but they had become too heavy to lift. He fell to his knees. Jack looked at the old man. "What is happening?" The old man answered calmly, "This treasure was never real. It only reveals what is inside a person's heart." Victor struggled to stand. His face was filled with anger. "You tricked me!" The mysterious voice echoed again. "Only those who choose honesty over greed may continue." A hidden stone bridge slowly appeared across a deep valley ahead. Jack realized the journey was becoming more dangerous. And somewhere beyond that bridge, the greatest secret of the Golden Key was still waiting. Chapter 4: The Bridge of Courage. The stone bridge slowly rose from the darkness. It stretched across a deep valley. There was no end in sight. Cold wind rushed through the cave. Jack stood quietly. He looked down. The valley beneath him seemed endless. Victor finally freed himself from the heavy stones. His face was filled with anger. "This journey should have been mine," he shouted. The old man calmly looked at him. "The Golden Key chooses character, not power." Victor ignored him. He pointed toward the bridge. "I will cross first." Without waiting, he stepped onto the bridge. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Victor laughed. "You see, there is no magic." Then, suddenly, the bridge began to shake. The stones beneath his feet cracked. A deep voice echoed through the valley. "What gives you courage?" Victor laughed proudly. "My strength, my money, my power." The bridge trembled harder. Large pieces of stone fell into the darkness below. Victor tried to run back. The bridge threw him onto the ground. He barely reached the cave entrance. His face had turned pale. The mysterious voice spoke again. "False courage always falls." Jack looked at the old man. "What should I do?" The old man smiled. "Tell the truth and trust your heart." Jack slowly stepped onto the bridge. The cold wind became stronger. Halfway across, the same voice asked, "What gives you courage?" Jack closed his eyes for a moment. Then he answered quietly, "I am not fearless. I feel afraid. But I keep moving because I know what is right. My courage comes from honesty, hope, and faith." The bridge stopped shaking. A warm golden light appeared beneath his feet. Each step became stronger than before. Jack continued walking. The valley became peaceful. Soon he reached the other side safely. The old man followed him. Victor watched with disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. On the other side of the bridge stood a beautiful stone garden. Colorful flowers covered the ground. Crystal water flowed through a small stream. In the center stood an ancient tree with shining golden leaves. Hanging from one branch was a small silver bell. Beside the tree was another stone tablet. It read, "Ring the bell only if your heart seeks wisdom, not reward." Jack looked at the old man. "What happens if I ring it?" The old man smiled. "You will soon find out," Jack thought carefully. He did not ask for treasure. He did not ask for power. He simply walked to the tree. He gently rang the silver bell. Its soft sound echoed through the entire mountain. The golden leaves began glowing. A hidden doorway slowly opened behind the tree. Warm sunlight poured into the cave. Jack looked surprised. There is sunlight underground? The old man smiled. Not everything is what it seems. Before they could step through the doorway, Victor secretly picked up a large rock. He quietly moved behind Jack. His eyes were filled with greed. If I cannot earn the key, I will take it. He lifted the rock high into the air. Just as he was about to strike Jack, a powerful golden light burst from the golden key. Victor was thrown backward. The rock slipped from his hands. He fell to the ground. The mysterious voice echoed one more time. The key protects those who choose goodness. Victor lowered his head. For the first time, he realized that no amount of force could control the golden key. Jack turned around. He looked at Victor with kindness. Instead of becoming angry, he offered him his hand. Come with us. It is not too late to change. Victor stared at Jack in silence. No one had ever shown him kindness after everything he had done. For the first time in many years, he began to question the path he had chosen. Together, they stepped through the hidden doorway. None of them knew that the greatest and final test was waiting just ahead.